Good afternoon, my beautiful babes and babettes. I'm your resident active advocate, and I did not brush my hair before this video because we are talking about Tangled, and I was going for some aesthetic appeal. That and the fact that I'm lazy. So, Tangled? I actually only just put this together, but it's a little bit, in some ways, of a rehash, thematically, of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You get, at the very beginning of the movie, a child. In Quasimodo's case, he is not exactly orphaned. His father is arrested, his mother is murdered, so he's halfway to being an orphan. But with Rapunzel, you get her taken away by Mother Gothel, and we'll get to her. Oh my. Because Rapunzel's very long golden hair has the power to restore someone's youth. And I'm not even going to get into the mechanics of that. It's not really pertinent. But Gothel takes Rapunzel as her child / prisoner and hides her away in the classic tower from the story. You all know the old fairy tale anyway. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your long hair, let-y-do. But in this story, Rapunzel actually strikes me as being a lot like Quasimodo because psychologically her profile would definitely be a hardcore case of Stockholm Syndrome. When she finally works up the gumption to leave the tower, thanks to the convincing that her friend Pascal does, I believe Pascal is either a frog or a lizard, but he's adorable, but I haven't seen the movie in a while. He's either a frog or a lizard. But she talks to him in much the same way that Quasimodo talks to the gargoyles, except that the gargoyles actually talk back, because Disney magic. So when she leaves the tower, the very first thing you see is her going, "I'm a horrible person. My mother will never forgive me." She thinks that Gothel's her mother, right? But this is classic Stockholm Syndrome. It is the case that Rapunzel gets what she perceives as love, care, and attention from Gothel because she has no other example of what real love, care, and attention look like from a parental figure. Gothel is not her mother, okay? She has only convinced Rapunzel that she is. She is also convinced Rapunzel, and this is the same thing that Frollo does to Quasimodo, that the world is a terrible place full of wicked people who will only use and abuse her because she's, according to Gothel, naive, a bit ditzy, clumsy, so on and so forth. But Gothel is the classic case of a narcissist or even a megalomaniac because she uses Rapunzel's insecurities to bolster her own ego, not only to keep Gothel young does she keep Rapunzel as prisoner, but also, as I say, to bolster her own ego. I have this person, under my control completely, and they will do whatever I tell them to because they don't know any better. This is a classic case of, well, quite frankly, mind control, but not in the, you're getting sleepy kind of way. This is just, you've been raised in this environment, you know nothing better, you know nothing different, and therefore you're going to act in the way that you're expected to act because you have no other precedent by which to act. So the first thing, as I say, when Rapunzel leaves the tower is, "Mother is never going to forgive me for this, oh my god," right? And she doesn't want to go back up the tower, though. Not yet. She wants to see what's really out there in the world. And really, she finds that A, it's not as bad as Gothel had been telling her, but B, there are people out there who are caring and sharing and loving, and, this is how she meets Eugene. But I want to set Rapunzel up against Gothel here because Rapunzel is portrayed as being unintelligent, at least from Gothel's point of view, okay? portrayed as being unintelligent, portrayed as being naive. And to be fair, she would be, because she's been stuck in a tower for her entire life, or for as long as she can remember. Gothel, however, believes that Gothel is, the smartest, prettiest, top drawer, dog's pajamas kind of person. And as I say, she uses Rapunzel to feed her own ego as well as feeding her eternal youth. When she brushes Rapunzel's hair, she is able to harness its magic to make herself young. And that's the whole reason why she keeps Rapunzel as prisoner. The whole thing of, bolstering her own ego off of Rapunzel's insecurities, that's just an added bonus. But Gothel basically has what cinema therapy called a cult of one. She has this girl under her full and absolute control until she leaves the tower and sees what the real world is like. But when she comes back to the tower, immediately Gothel says to her, "Oh, you're just going to make me the bad guy. You're going to guilt me out," which is exactly what Gothel is doing to Rapunzel here. And, there's this whole big argument about, like, that this is where you are safe. You know that I am the one who is keeping you safe, you ungrateful, stupid little girl. And Rapunzel is only like 16 or 17 years old at this point. So even if she hadn't lived her entire life secluded in a tower, she would definitely still be young and potentially naive enough to fall for this. Because not only is Gothel gaslighting her, but she's also 100% trying to maintain that absolute control in order for Rapunzel to stay by her side always and to keep giving her eternal youth. Gothel is one of the better villains ever created by Disney. I would say that in terms of just sheer malignant narcissism and, the capacity to manipulate, to gaslight, to overpower, she's up there with Frollo. I would probably put her like just one step below him. Frollo is a lot worse because he's also physically abusive to Quasimodo and to other people. You don't see Gothel interact that much with other people, except for when she's trying to get information that will lead her to having more leverage over Rapunzel. Gothel goes to a bar where she meets up with these people who give her all the information that she wants on this Eugene fellow whom Rapunzel has fallen in love with. And, Gothel does not want Rapunzel falling in love with an exterior influence because she wants to be the only influence in her life, of course. It's a little bit stereotypical that, of course, you would fall in love with the first person of the opposite sex you see outside the tower. That's very Disney. That's very Disney formula-esque. But Eugene is a legitimately good person, too. I like his character. But when Gothel goes to get more information about Eugene from his buddies at the bar, she's very charming to, the patrons there. It's like, "Oh, you," that kind of thing. But not quite that smarmy. But she is good at putting it on, and it's displayed that Rapunzel is not the only person who is suspect to her manipulation, to her capacity for manipulation. She's good at doing this to more than one kind of person, and you don't have to be extraordinarily naive to fall for her tricks. So Gothel herself is actually very intelligent. She is less intelligent than she gives herself credit for. I would definitely classify her as I say, a malignant narcissist, because she uses other people to boost herself up. And oftentimes when people do that, it's because they do have very low self-esteem to begin with. And the whole problem with that is that in order to feel like a good person, a complete person even, you will need those exterior influences telling you, yes, you are worthwhile, yes, you are intelligent, yes, you are beautiful, which is the other reason why Gothel clings to Rapunzel for the sake of eternal youth. It's not for the sake of Gothel's own self-image or self-respect. It's for other people to look at her and say, You are beautiful, you are charming, you are intelligent, you are worthy. And that conceit goes as far back as the evil queen in Snow White. You know, it's a very old feminine trope in Disney and in fairy tales in general. And I'm not really a fan, especially since it seems to only be women who are this kind of villain, except in the case of Kuzco. But Kuzco is my favorite Disney princess. But yeah, like I say, the whole idea of narcissism is that you have no self-esteem of your own, so you need other people's, you know, love, affection, adulation in order to feel good about yourself. While I fully support getting love and respect from others, A, you have to earn it, and B, you also have to give it back. You know, the other thing behind Mother Gothel is that she does not see other people as worthwhile. And that's another characteristic of the malignant narcissist. I am the only one who should be in the spotlight. I am the only one who is worthwhile. And you are going to tell me and tell me and tell me and tell me until you are blue in the face. So, yeah, Gothel has a very interesting psychological profile. And in the end, I think she gets very much what she deserves, especially for the child abuse. I like Disney villains, okay? They're often the most interesting characters. But in real life, as well as in Disneydom, I firmly draw the line at child abuse. So that's my moral line. Otherwise, I could take some glee in the evil machinations of evil people in Disney movies. But yeah, other than child abuse, that's where I draw my line. So that is Mother Gothel, as opposed to, as my niece used to call her, Rapunzel. That was when she was like 2 or 3, which strikes me as odd because that sounds harder to say than just Rapunzel. But it was cute. So yeah, that's my analysis of that movie. And on Monday, because I take weekends off, we will be looking at another one. Not sure yet, but I have the master list. Wahaha. All right. Thank you for your lovely time, care, and attention, and love. And like, comment, share, subscribe. Be nice and snarky with me, and love y'all. Mwah!